black businesses need more help. That's according to Nick Clegg, who says that banks and football clubs must do more to end the racial ceiling and offer equal opportunities to the UK's ethnic minorities. Now, shortly, you'll hear from a successful young black businessman from Nottingham who says that entrepreneurs shouldn't need extra support. You'll also hear from a development officer from a Nottingham business support organisation specialising in working with ethnic minorities. But first, here's what the Deputy Prime Minister had to say.
How many black managers are there in the Premier League? 0. And in the top 4 divisions, just 2. Despite the fact that a quarter of all players are black. In sport, as in so many other walks of life, we have moved forward. But in so many professions, the ceilings still remain.
Delivering the Scarman lecture 30 years after the Brixton riots earlier this week, Clegg says the private sector has to do more. Despite acknowledging that the Lib Dems have no ethnic minority MPs, he said there was a very long way to go before inequality could be won, stating that 35% of individuals from black African origin say they want to start a business, but only 6% actually do, and that past evidence shows firms owned by individuals of black African origin have been 4 times more likely than so-called white firms to be denied loans outright. Professor Gus John from the University of London described it as an ethnic penalty.
Black people in this country have suffered for decades. It's a penalty that registers in the economic sphere, in education, in employment and elsewhere. And it's very important, it seems to me, that the government to put race more firmly in the center of the agenda by concentrating on those matters.
So should black businesses get more help? Well, according to a 23-year-old Nottingham-born successful black entrepreneur, the answer is no. Fresh from college, Daniel Thomas set up an online business selling hot tubs at the age of just 17. 6 years on, his company is still going strong, and Daniel joins us now. Before we talk about Nick Clegg's claims, tell us a bit about your business background. Do you come from a particularly entrepreneurial family?
No, so my own family, they're doing well. I mean, my mum's an accountant, my dad's a joiner, but there's no one within sort of my own family that's run their own business. I think my grandfather was a sort of self-employed printer for a time, but beyond that, I think I'm the first to go into business and to be successful at it within my own family. And to be honest, I'm probably the first person sort of within my own group of friends or within my own circle, if you like, that's gone into business as well.
And was it something that you always wanted to do?
I mean, I went to college. I thought I was going to go to university, work my way up through the corporate ladder. Halfway through college, an opportunity came around to start my business, so I jumped on that instead. And I'd always wanted to be a businessman of some sort, but I always thought I'm gonna have to work up the corporate ladder to get there, as opposed to just going out and starting it myself.
So did you get much help?
No, none. I mean, it was a very small business when it began. We were selling test strips and sort of mobile phone protectors on the internet. You didn't really need a lot of support. It was just use your instinct. It was, see if you can find something that sells. When you find something that sells, then you find something else that can sell, and you grow it that way, as opposed to going out with these big grand plans to create something that you have no idea whether it's going to be successful or not. It wasn't really a business at that stage. It wasn't. We never set out to create a business, but the opportunity arose in the end to do so.
So having gone it alone entirely, does it frustrate you when you hear things like the comments made by Nick Clegg that black businesses need more help?
I think all businesses need help. I mean, that's my own thoughts. I think these are difficult times, and I think there are many businesses out there that are going to be going bust. There are going to be lots of people being laid off. I think there are lots of people that want help and lots of people that would like help. But I just think if there is an issue within the black community that we need to focus on, I just don't think this is the big one, to be honest. I don't think the reason that I don't think that the reason there aren't enough black businesses out there are because banks aren't giving black people loans. I think the reality is, I've applied for a loan before, and my bank manager has no idea what colour I am because I never see them. She's based over in Edinburgh, and that's the reality with most banks. I don't think banks are being discriminative towards black people as such. I don't think that's an issue. I think the reality is all businesses all over the place, they're going to have to sit and think long and hard about what they want to do, how they want to make money. They've got to come up with some great ideas, and if they come up with great ideas, banks will support them. If they haven't got great ideas, banks won't support them. It's simple.
Have you faced many struggles along the way setting up your business? Yeah,
I mean, we've had loads of problems. We've had times when I've got no idea how I'm going to pay staff's wages at the end of the week, and they've got mortgages to pay, and they're relying on me. I don't expect a bank to bail me out in that sort of situation, though. I think when I get into that circumstance, as I say, I've got to think long and hard about how I'm going to change this business and how we're going to, really push and try and claw in the sales that we need to make sure that we can pay those bills at the end of the week. We've had loads of struggles, not just, relating around money issues. I think if there is an area that businesses, not black businesses, but businesses and particularly young businessmen need support, it's in that area of management, because I'm 23. I've never managed anyone before in my life. This is my first attempt at managing. I have no idea how to do it. I have no theory. But I'm just working it out one day at a time, seeking advice from who I can. But there aren't many people around that I can seek that advice from. So, but yeah, everybody needs support.
Have you ever attributed any of the struggles that you've faced along the way to your skin colour?
No, not at all. I don't think. We're an internet-based business, so as I say, the reality is most people don't know what colour I am anyway. But I just think whatever the stereotypes people may have about people, you sit down, you talk with people, you get to know them, they get to know you, they understand who you are, they understand what you're about, and then they support you. And if they don't like what you're about and they don't feel that you're on the right path, then they won't support you. For me, it's always been a relative. I don't personally feel that I am massively, or I don't personally feel there are any sort of big disadvantages that I've seen active within my own life just because of my skin colour.
Development Officer Marceline Powell from First Enterprise, a Nottingham business supporting organisation specialising in working with ethnic minorities, joins us now. Marceline, do you think black businesses need more help?
I think that there needs to be a lot of focus on breaking down stereotypes. These stereotypes are actually affecting people from accessing things such as mainly finance. I do agree that it is about an individual and their determination to succeed, but certainly in the agency where I work, we see a lot of people coming through with these very good ideas, very viable business ideas, but when they're approaching banks, they're not necessarily getting the support or even the same response as perhaps their white counterparts. So I think that in itself is not a case of should they get more support. It's about breaking down barriers and stereotypes. Don't predetermine that a business is going to be a bad risk, when you haven't really gone through the full sort of assessment of an individual. And that's what a lot of people are experiencing. Certainly from a loan fund point of view that we manage, the majority of the people that do come through are from ethnic minorities, large number of people from Caribbean communities, and it is actually because they've been turned down time and time again from institutions that other people take for granted.
And are they saying to you that the reason that is because of the colour of their skin?
I'll tell you that I don't come across people that sort of say to me, I can't do this and it's because I'm black. I don't see that. However, when we look at the statistics that are even produced by the banks, that are produced by government, and when we talk to people about their real life stories, we are seeing that there is a pattern that is still there. It was there before the Brixton riots, it's still there 30 years after the Brixton riots, and nothing has changed in terms of stereotype. And like I said, sort of, it's this sort of preconceived idea that people from certain communities are not trustworthy, or they're not going to work hard enough, or and things like that. It really does affect people's confidence and their ability to move forward.
So there's specific barriers that are faced by black business starters. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I would say that we certainly see it a lot more with the black business or people that are wanting to start a business, and they are, from the black communities. And I think we can't rule out the fact that there is clear problems. It doesn't start at business, it starts in the education system. It starts what type of training is available, are people accessing, and it starts with aspiration. And I think that if those things are not there from the start, then you will see a less number of people coming through from certain communities. And even those, like I said, that ignore that or work past that and try and still access the support they need, they're not getting it. So there really is a clear issue out there.
Well, Daniel, with that in mind, having started your business fresh out of college, do you feel that you got the right support you needed in the education system to start your business?
No, I don't. I think there's a fundamental problem with the education system as far as businesses, as far as entrepreneurialism is concerned. I mean, schools don't teach you how to be entrepreneurial. They teach you how to run a big, massive corporate organization. So what I studied in school in relation to business, I was doing things like Gantt charts and SWOT analysis, which they're not that relevant to what I do on a day-to-day basis. When I'm just trying to sell something on eBay or grow from that sort of level. I think there's, but again, I don't particularly think that's a black issue. I think there are problems in that. The reality is there are many black kids in school from disadvantaged backgrounds, and they don't have sort of business role models to turn to. And I think, yes, that's something we ought to look at. And in fact, one of the things I try and do is go into schools occasionally with the limited experience that I have, and just try and inspire a few kids, try and show them that, if you are black, you can get out there and you can start a business. I think that is a problem, but I don't think Yeah, I mean, I think as I say, there's just a big fundamental problem with education and the way it teaches business in general. To be honest, they're not teaching it in the right way.
What one bit of advice do you wish that you'd been given before starting out?
Probably try and get a bit of experience first. I mean, I could, you can argue that's been one of the greatest advantages that I've sort of had to learn and make the mistakes along the way. But you do make many mistakes. I would say if somebody wants to go into business, the best thing you could probably do right now is find yourself a mentor, give you some advice beforehand. It's really important to bounce your ideas across someone who's already been through it and has made the mistakes that you're probably going to make at one stage.
Marceline, final word to you. What advice do you give to the people coming to First Enterprise for help?
I think really it's don't give up. I mean, if I'm able to, just to sort of reiterate what I've been saying, the government sort of highlight this as an issue. As an agency that's working directly with people, we've had since 2009 something like 499 people from just the African Caribbean community comes through. Of that, that's resulted in 135 new starts. As an agency with a loan fund, sort of like 1.3 million that we've given out to these businesses. Why are they accessing it through this way? If they are, if their ideas are not good enough or are not viable, why haven't they been able to go to a bank? So I would say don't give up. There are agencies out there that can support you. I certainly agree with what's just been said. Find a mentor, because no matter what you're experiencing when you start in business, encouragement and support is absolutely vital.